But you've got to also know who you're sacrificing for. I'm not going to die for any useless person, sorry to say. I won't. There's something I want to say now, maybe people might be controversial. When I see people that say they are fighting the cause, first of all, look at the people I'm fighting the cause for. They're useless people. Why am I going to go and sacrifice myself? No, 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 no. What if I told you that there's one word that could save you your mental health, your marriage, your money, or maybe even your life, and that word is no? There's a story that has been circulating on social media about this young Nigerian man, 23-year-old, that was found dead in his room. According to the story, the flatmate did say that the man had revealed to him that he was under so much financial pressure from the mom, the uncle, basically from his entire extended family, his village, the village, his clan. I'm just exaggerating, from his extended family. The roommate also revealed that Obinna, that's a young man that died, had told him that he developed high blood pressure due to the stress that he was under from his mom and the extended family. And when he was found dead, and they checked his phone, the last person he had spoken to was his mom. And whether every detail about this story, whether it's true or not, one thing is certain: the pressure is real. Thousands of Africans in diaspora or abroad wake up carrying their dreams, while also carrying the dreams of their parents, their siblings, their uncles, their aunties, their nieces, their nephews. They're carrying dreams of an entire village, their clan. And that's the truth. There's something that I've discovered about our culture, which most of us will not want to admit. And I find that to be very dangerous, that most of us have been brought up to believe that saying no means that you're selfish. And I'm here to challenge that belief. Because from my experience, and from as you grow, that's what I believe. The older I get, the more you should be wiser if you're okay, For me, what I've seen that saying no, learning to say no, or saying no sometimes is one of the, the greatest gift you can give to yourself and the people around you. Sometimes the kindest things you can do for yourself and for your family is to learn to say no. Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, I am Madam Chomzi. Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I'd like you guys to subscribe to my channel, like my video, share my videos, also click on notification bell so you get notified anytime I upload a new video. Today, this video was triggered by the story that's circulating on social media. I don't know if some of you have seen it. I actually saw another one this morning. That one was the guy. That one didn't die. He slumped down and they called the ambulance as his BP was really high. It's also pressure from back home here. So I want to talk about generally on why I think that one of the things that you need to learn, and I think it's also a sign that you are mature emotionally, is you have to be able, you have to develop. It's so important that you have to develop that skill, the skill of being able to say no. It's so important. In the case of this young man, I think his name was Obinna. To be honest, I don't even know how to start, because as far as I'm concerned, he's still a child. 23 is really, really young. No 23-year-old should be expected to carry that amount of burden. And why it's so was because he's so young, and I think I would say at that age, most people that are even 40, 50 are still struggling with the ability to say no. No to people how much more their parents? Because another thing with African culture that I've seen, I know that Bible says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. But in African culture, children don't upgrade to adults. So when you're an adult, you're still expected. There's a confusion between respect and obedience. Yes, as a child, you obey your parents. Part of showing that you respect your parents is that you obey your parents. But please, I'm an adult. Children, obey your parents does not apply to you as an adult. It doesn't. You have to respect your parents. And part of respecting your parents is that sometimes you have to respectfully say no. And it's so important as an adult to get this. If you don't get this, that's why you see marriages problem, extended family. Because in the African culture, there's so much value that's placed, which is very good, on, what will I call it now? On collectivism. That's where we place value, so much value on family and community, which is a beautiful thing. Unlike the Western world, where it's very more individualistic. But what we have to also bear in mind that something that has strengths and is a good thing also has its own weaknesses. And one of the bad thing about that, or the weakness about it, is that boundaries. Where you see that there's so much focus on care about what will my family think, what will my community think, what will my parents think. So the issue with I'm deviating a bit, but since I've started talking about it, I'll talk about it. The issue with not learning to say no, not developing that skill to say no. When you get married and you have parents that don't know what boundaries are, you're going to have problem in your marriage. Nobody wants to be married to a spouse that their parents are controlling. You see where the confusion comes in. So you have a wife that cannot say no to her parents, and you have a husband that cannot say no to her parents. So they'll rather please the parents instead of the spouse. So that's the problem, one of the major problems that we have with that culture. You owe your parents honor as an adult, but I don't owe you any obedience. I don't have to be. Well, you can advise me. I'll take your advice if I think it's right. But if I think that your advice is going to lead me the wrong way, you can say no to your parents. So you hear people say, oh, they're good, they're threatening them. I cannot disobey my parents, and you're married. So if your parents are leading you astray with their advice that they think is right, but because you feel that you cannot disobey your parents, in that case, I heard the mom used to call and be cursing the guy. You can curse me from now to tomorrow. If I don't do anything wrong, your curse don't have any hold over me. And I think people have to know that. So that's where it brings confusion. It brings confusion. You carry all of the baggage from your own family, be bringing it to your own, from your extended family. That's your parents' own family. You've left your parents, went to get a spouse. You people have become one. You're still entangled there. I'm not saying that you abandon your parents or you don't listen to them, but they're controlling you. Even you hear people to an extent, my parents said I should kick my spouse away. As in, get rid of your wife. And people, a grown man is proud saying that. So that's one of the problems with that culture. That someone can be somewhere, knowingly or unknowingly, destroying a marriage or destroying another family in the name of culture. So that's one thing I have to say. Children, obey your parents in the Lord. It's not you. You're not. If you're not a child, that does not you are not obligated to obey your parents. You can respect your parents. And part of respecting them, you can respectfully say no. So all this culture of the adults are always right, the elders are always, it's rubbish. Now elders are stupid. That's the truth of the matter. And your parents are not always right. Hello, wake up, announcement. Your parents are not perfect. You know, when we were young, our parents were grateful for the things that they've done for us. But part of it, when you start growing, you have your own family, you begin to look back and see where your parents too are not perfect. They're not perfect. If you come and say your parents are perfect, you're a bloody liar. So we are grateful for the things that they've done for us. But there's nowhere that is right for a 23-year-old, as far as I'm concerned, 23-year-old is still a child, to carry that amount of burden. They've not even started. What does a 23-year-old have? What does a 23-year-old have? If the guy had so much money, would he be sharing a flat with someone else? So it's important that we learn to say no. Learn to put people on timeout. There's nothing wrong. You can block people. Learn to say no. Mark people. Some people you can give explanations. Some no is no. No explain anything. If the no is not enough, block them. So know how people are. If someone loves you, you don't need to keep explaining why you cannot meet up with something. I understand that you have to take care of parents and take care of or help people. But as I always say, that help that destroys you is no help. It's not help. You've got to get rid of the Messiah complex, as I said in my previous video. Because if you don't, as I said, you will die. And this is a case of one. This is an example of what I said in one of my videos when I talked about the black tax. You will die. They are going to continue. They'll look for another victim. That's the truth of the matter. They'll look for someone else to go and hold, and they even add it to the story. Oh, Obina used to help us, but Obina now. To bring another person, hook that one. So their life is going to continue, but unfortunately, this young man's life is gone. And that's it. They'll cry for you after that. They'll move on. And that's the truth. So what I say to people, when you learn to say no, it shows one thing: you love yourself. And let nobody deceive you. You're supposed to love yourself. As I always say, Jesus said, love your neighbor as thyself. Meaning that me first. And I always say it without guilt, without shame, because our culture, they like to shame. I love myself more than anybody, sorry. I cannot love you more than me. In fact, to me, it is a sin to love you more than me. I can't, sorry. You've got to always think, not yes. You've got to think, when you say no, you're reinforcing the beliefs that you have in your values. You've got to think, do I have time for this? Do I have energy for this? How does this line up with my values? How does this line up with my priorities? Not just yes, oh yes. You want to be pleasing everybody. Because you don't want them to say you're wicked. Who have they called wicked has made them dead? So, that culture of shame, or trying to compare you or your mates that went abroad, look at what they're doing. You've not done this. Is it not the same America you went to? Is it not the same UK that you and this person listen? They are doing this for their family. How come you're not doing? It's stupid people that think that way. Someone that loves you cannot come and say that to you. Someone that loves you is not going to guilt trip you, emotionally blackmail you, or try to manipulate you. And you've got to know that. If I have to keep explaining to you why I cannot do something for you, I have a problem with that. If I've told you, don't, this back and forth, that's how the manipulative people, they'll come back, what, they start, mark them. So when people call you and they don't really call you without asking. They don't just call you to say, okay, how are you? How are you doing? You cannot gist if request does not come in. Mark those kind of people. So don't let people make you feel guilty, put you unnecessary pressure, anxiety. That's why I say you've got to learn how to say no. Saying no is knowing how to put boundaries to protect yourself, protect your peace. As I grow older, the most important thing to me is my peace. I don't give a damn, and I mean it. I don't give a damn what you think about me. And that's also why it's good to be grounded in God's love. God loves me. That's all that matters. I don't care whether you love me or not, because you are not important in any aspect of my life. To be honest, you don't matter. You don't determine whether I live today or I die tomorrow. So what's my business with you? So people that have died under pressure, stress, exhaustion, trying to please people, you say yes without thinking. No, yes does not necessarily mean that it's saying yes and being very self-sacrificing. People think it's honorable to always put yourself on the line or sacrifice yourself and your needs. That's honorable. No, most times it's not. It's not. Sorry to say. There's a time for sacrifice. But you've got to also know who you're sacrificing for. I'm not going to die for any useless person. Sorry to say. I won't. There's something I want to say now, but people might be controversial. When I see people that say they are fighting the cause, first of all, look at the people I'm fighting the cause for. I'm like useless people. Why am I going to go and sacrifice myself? No. So I'll leave you with this final word, and I want you to listen to me very, very carefully. Kindness without boundaries will lead to stress, will lead to exhaustion. Give yourself the permission to say no. Learn to say no. No, not because you don't love the person or the people, but because you finally love yourself enough to protect your peace and to protect your future. Some people will not be happy with this decision. People benefit from your lack of boundaries. Trust me, you're the only one that does not benefit. Kindness is not self-destruction. So that's what I want to leave you guys with. And I want you to really think about it. Think about what I've just said. Kindness without boundaries is self-destruction. It's as simple as that. I'm not saying don't be kind. It's good to be kind. But there's got to be boundaries. Because boundaries is what protects you. You are the most important person to yourself. And nobody is going to watch out for you. You've got to be your own advocate. So I'd like to hear from you guys. I would like to hear what you think about what I've just shared or what I've talked about. I would like to hear your opinions in the comment section. All right? Like my video, share my video, click on the notification bell to receive notification. Thank you guys, all of you that have subscribed to my channel. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.